welcome to our final segment on A Neighbor's Choice Radio. I'm your host, David Gornoski. YouTube me, David Gornoski, or type in A Neighbor's Choice on YouTube or internet, and you'll find how to subscribe to see all these world-class interviews that we do each and every week. And my wonderful, I can't wait for this segment, it's my chief science advisor, Dr. Wei-Ping Yu, theoretical physicist, and my go-to guy for rethinking outdated ideas of science. Thanks again for being on the show, Dr. Yu.
Thank you, David, for having me.
It's so great to see you again. And I really, I want to show the world the power of groupthink and how if you rethink something like physics, how it has a downstream effect for other modes of thought, like medicine. And so I think, I was talking at the beginning of the show about how, there's this call for let's have trillions of dollars to spend, higher taxes, higher whatever, print more money. That'll hurt the poor, when we print money. And I said, we don't need that. I want a day, and I want it in this lifetime, where we can have solutions voluntarily funded with people rolling up their skin in the game that they can solve big illnesses, even like cancer, which is a terrible blight on a lot of people's lives and fear and pain and suffering. And so one time, you have really rethought a lot of groupthink ideas in physics. And so one time I remember I asked you, I said, I'm really motivated about this cancer issue. I've seen it affect my family members and I see the suffering they go through. And I said, I can't stand the thought, if there's a new idea that we could research that would help us achieve remediation or help solve cancer. Now, I'm not a medical expert, and neither are you. You're a physicist. But I said, if we rethink what an atom is, and you do that, then maybe we have a new insight of our body if we rethink what our body is made out of at a physics level when it comes to energy. And so I asked you one time, I said, if your theory of physics is correct and your discovery is true, that every particle is a magnetic particle having both positive and negative charge.
Right.
I said, what does that mean? Is there any influence that would do for cancer? How would that affect what you would think about for cancer?
Good question. If my understanding about cancer versus cancer cell versus a normal cell, the normal cell is a closed, stabilized, called a magnetic neutral cell. Cancer cell is not fully closed. So that's why what happens? Not fully closed. So it's not magnetically stable. So that means not magnetically neutral. What happens? It will interact. I want to mention one thing. All the interactions at atom level or molecular level, it's all based on the magnetic force. So the reason cancer cell interact because it breaks the normal stabilized cell, becomes charged, the magnetic charged cell. So that's why it interact. Here is what I believe antibiotics do. Antibiotic is a charged particle. So it can neutralize. When you neutralize that broken cancer cell, this cancer cell, you can stop cancer.
And you told me that one night. I said, wow, are you telling me ordinary antibiotics, things that are cost 5 cents that are already FDA approved, could be repackaged in a way that could help cancer? And you said yes. And I said, had you thought of that before you rethought what a particle was? And you said, I had never thought of that until I understood what a particle was.
That's conclusion from the theory. I said, well, if it's charged particle, so how antibiotics work with? Antibiotics, number one thing is it is charged. It can neutralize the other, a non-stabilized cell. And another thing about antibiotics, it's tested not strong enough, not to destroy healthy cell. So that's why I mentioned about it.
Right.
I think about the cancer.
People take antibiotics all day and they're not having
I think that's what antibiotics is the most effective drug right now. Wow. That's what I believe.
So, and now let me tell you folks, I researched this and I found a scientist all the way in England, one of the most world-class scientists in cancer research. And his name is Michael Assanti. I want you to look him up. And I want you to see if Dr. Yu's physics principles are played out, because he has found just that ordinary antibiotics can help cancer better than the conventional treatments. This is A Neighbor's Choice. Find out what more we'll have for you next week.